You're right. Okay, very important for this evening to understand this pasuk, to at least see the pasuk. It's in Vayikra. It's not Vayikra, excuse me. It's in Devarim. Deuteronomy. It's Perichav Beis, pasuk K. Perichav Beis, pasuk K. What does it say there? La'yia kli gever al isha. There should not be the clothing of a man on a woman. Yilbash gever simlas isha, and a man should not wear the clothing, the simla of a woman. Hashem elokecha kolois eila. Hashem finds that an abomination. Abomination. The lashon of very strong toyaba. Now the lashon of toyeva, guys, is we had it in the Dorim Daf Nun Aleph. It's it means, it says toya ataba. You stray. So usually it refers to snus, where you're straying away from a Kadosh Baruch Hu. With Kaddish, you're going ahead and straying away to do an immoral act. So therefore, it appears there's a connection between morality and cross-dressing and cross-dressing. Again, try to erase from your mind whatever you're thinking. I'm sure none of it's good. Okay, so unfortunately, you're living in a terrible time. And okay, let's try to see the Gedarim Valacha. Maybe we'll digress a little bit and share with you some interesting halachas tonight. So there's two parts to the daf. The first part, which is very digression. The second part, which is Spitz Naziris. So let's spend a lot of time in the first part. Says Gemara, says Rav, Mekel Adam Kol Gufay Bitar, and that's not a problem of Layilbash Gever. In other words, women are accustomed to going ahead and shaving their hair. For a man to do it, it says, so Rav Mekel Adam, he said Kol Gufay Bitar. A person's able to do this. Mesivei Hamaver Beis Hashechi. If someone goes ahead and removes the hair from his armpits, Ubeis Erva, and from his pubic area, Harizel Loika, he's going to get Malchus, right? So he's going to get Malchus. So how can Rav say that? What this is a brisa? How could Rav go ahead and argue on this? It says clearly he's going to get Malchus, guys. So it's mashma that it's not permitted. And for the Gemara, I have a direction: habitar, habamisparayim. Where is it? One is speaking where you're using a razor, and one is speaking where you're using a scissor. Where you use a razor, it's not permitted. Where you use a scissor, it is permitted. Okay? So the problem is, look at what did Rab say, guys? Rab himself, you could use a razor. So what kind of terrors are you giving me? With a scissor, it's permitted. With a razor, it's not permitted. But Rab himself said it's permitted. Friend more right way. But Rab Nami Batar Kamar. Right? Rab said what? You can use a tar. It says more kain tar. You could use it like a tar. In other words, if you use a scissor like similar to a razor, then it could be. But a razor itself, you're not able to use. Or even Rav will be maida, a man is not allowed to use a razor on his body there. And again, why? Because of the issur of lo yilbash gever. Okay. Rab Chia bar Abba, Rab Yochanan, Hamav beis hashechia beis erva loika. Mamish is clearly kan Rav, right? Right. Excuse me. This is again l'chayra. So Mesivei Havoris Seya Einam B'Devei Torah El B'Devei Seifrim. Now you have a brisa saying that it's D'Rabbanan. So how can you say you get Malchus? So Malaikinami to come with D'Rabbanan. So apparently you get Malchus Mardis. You get Malchus Mardis D'Rabbanan. Okay. So l'chayra, if you look at the bottom Taisus, Rav Yochanan Hamav Beis Hashechi Beis Erva Harizel Loike Mesivei Havoris Tar Einam B'Devei Torah El B'Devei Seifrim. Says. He could have. You're asking on Rabbi Yochanan what from a brisa that just said it's the Rabbanon. We had a brisa before when we asked on Rav that said it's the brisa. In other words, Rabbi Yochanan had a heavy hitter behind him. He had a kind behind him. Right away, guys. Right away, Rav. Why do we ask on Rav? Had a brisa, Rav. How can you say that you don't get Malchus? You got a brisa saying you get Malchus. How can you say you can do it? So we asked the Kashan Rabbi Yochanan from a brisa that says it's the Rabbanon. Rabbi Yochanan could have said. Give me a shot. I got some backing. I got a brisa that'll back me up. So says Taisvis Elanichale Lishnuye, my lucky Rabbanon, the liftical brises hadadi. Shalom bias. In order to go ahead and say the brises don't argue with each other, we could say it's speaking what the Rabbanon, and therefore they're not arguing. But, right?
The answer that You could do.
It does very good. Okay, very good. Let's continue. It continues the Rabbi Yochanan not misparayim myself. So very good, Ari, excellent. So Rabbi Yochanan is of the opinion even with a scissor it would not be permitted, and this he argues on Rab. Umashma the Rabbi Yochanan Palagad Rab. So I told you he argues on Rab, guys. Both agree with a razor you can't take off the body here. Rabbi Yochanan is an extra chomer. You can't even take off the body here using a scissor. And that's where you chelik on Rav. Rav only said what? B'toya you can't, but misparayim you could. Rabbi Yochanan is saying Amava, it's get Malchus the Rabbanon. If you use what? I wonder if you hold you use a razor if you get Malchus the Raisa. You know, I'm wondering. Okay, anyway, there's the Gemara Vaita. Ikad the Amri. There are others say Amr Rav Chia bar Abba Amr Rabbi Yochanan Amava beis Hashechi beis Erva loike mishum lo yilbash gever simlas isha. Okay, now, how is this different than the first brisa, guys? In the first brisa, we didn't bring a pasuk. So you could say that it's divrei seifrim. You can answer it's the Rabbanon. Once he brings a pasuk, it's showing the Araisa. So in other words, according to this opinion of Rabbi Yochanan, cutting off your hair, moving hair from your body would be an issa deraisa, not the Rabbanon. Again, usually it could be, but let's see.
Interesting, because Yobash is putting something on and taking something off. You're learning it from.
Yeah, but it's really, as we're going to see, that it's very, very these halachas that we don't learn them. You cannot believe all the halachas about, as we're going to see, coloring your hair, dyeing your hair, cutting your eyebrows, looking in a mirror. They're all things that you think, okay, innocuous things. You go to the barber, he says, should I cut your eyebrows? You go, yeah, why not? Not so fast. Anyway, doesn't matter. Mesave. Havara seya einim b'divrei Torah el b'divrei seifrim. So it's mashma that what? It's mashma that Rabbi Yochanan is of the opinion that it's deraisa, yet here it says divrei seifrim. So therefore, when you ask this question, you can't say it's asmachta abi. From the Gemara's kasha, you heard it's not asmachta. Albeit, I have to tell you, I remember seeing this once in the Rishash. For the love of me, I can't remember this Masechta I saw it in. He says, anytime the Gemara says Mishum, it's an Asmachta. When you bring a pasuk, when you say Shenemar, guys, what's the difference? Shenemar, Mishum. Shenemar is the Deraisa, Mishum is the Rabbana. It's a very interesting it's a very interesting little pitchivka. But I don't remember where I saw it. I almost did see it. I have to go back. It says, so you have a kasha on Rabbi Yochanan. How can you say it's the Raisa, it's the Rabbanon? So who don't make Tana? He holds like the following Tana. The Tanya, Hamave Beis Hashechi, someone who removes the hair from his armpit, the Beis Erva. I was Oiva Mishum Lo Yilbish Geves Simlus Isha. Good. So that's mashma, guys. What? The Raisa. So once Rabbi Yochanan has someone backing him up, you're good. The Tanakama, meaning the one who says it's the Rabbanon, the one who says it's the Rabbanon. Hailo Yilbish Geva my Dorish Bey. Why does he use that for? You got a pasuk saying it's the Raisa. He boiled for the Tanya for the following. Gever al Isha. Ma Tamid Laimar. What are you telling me? Im Shala Yilbish Ish Simla Isha. If a man should not wear a woman's dress, the Isha Simlas Ish, and a woman should wear a man's pants. Harikva Nemar. It says Tayeva, meaning that would only be what? Something that would lead to znus, the ein kan tayeva. Pashtus, if a woman is sitting in her house dressed as a man, if a man is sitting in his house dressed as a woman, that would not be the issa, because that's tayeva again is connected to immorality. It's connected to znus. So therefore, the chora, that's not what the pasuk means according to this Tana. Ella, what does the pasuk mean? Shla yilbash ish simlas isha. A man should not wear woman's clothing, v'yeshev bein hanoshim, and go live among the women in order to go ahead and be promiscuous. The isha simlas ish, v'teshev bein hanoshim. That's the issa deraisa. That's the issa deraisa. So when it says you shouldn't wear women's clothing, according to this opinion, you know what it means? You shouldn't wear women's clothing and go live with women. You shouldn't go ahead and wear men's clothing and go live with the men. But if it's separate alone, that's not ta'eva, that would not be the issa. This is according to this opinion. Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov Omer, however, the Tanna of Eliezer ben Yaakov says, "Minayin shlei teitze isha b'kli zayin." How do you know a woman should even go out with a weapon, with a sword? In other words, even a sword is considered simlas ish. L'milchama, to war. Talmud Loimar, it says lo'yeh kli gever al isha. Kli gever, and the sword for those ancient times, right? Would be kli gever would be a man's adornment, and therefore a woman should not wear it. A man should not be metaking himself with tikune isha. All the things that women do to beautify themselves, man should not do. That's what Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov holds. That's what Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov holds. So now you have a huge machlokes between Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov and the Chachamos. Let's digress, guys, a little bit, so you don't have to look inside. Okay, let's digress a little bit. What's the machlokes? What exactly is the machlokes? Pashut on a pashut level, the way I'm teaching it, right? It means the following: the Chachamim are very makel. The Chachamim are very makel. What are they saying? The Tanakam is saying, well, you know what? Really, the Isra of Silbash Ish and Isha is only when they're going to use it to go ahead and be promiscuous, meaning, and they're going to, but otherwise, anything else, what? Let's say man will put on makeup, nail polish. That would be okay. I mean, he's weirdo, but you know that he won't be over the Isra, according to Tanakama. According to Eliezer ben Yaakov, what? Again, we're talking about could there, even the Rabbanim probably yes, but again, let's just get the rice Arya. Now, the Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov says what? He's much more machmir. He says, right, any kol tikun isha, even as far as what? One that's not a tayeva, wearing what? A sword is not a tayeva. So the Mefarish is a very, very geschmack pshat. You have in Shiras Devaira, when Sisera was on the run, we had it early in the Masechta, right? Remember that Yal was boiled 7 times to weaken him. And what did she do? How'd she kill him? Using what? A tent peg. She didn't use a sword. She simply over a what? It's Yalkut Shemaini. She, even in killing, she kept halacha. She didn't use the sword as kligever. Yeah, she pegged him in the head with a thing, right? She didn't use the sword to chop off the head. Okay, anyway, so that seems to be the 2 extremes. Okay, I'm going to bring down the different shittas. First of all, the Unkelis. Listen to the way Unkelis translates this pasuk, guys. It says Unkelis. Says Unkelis. You know what that means? Tikun zain the givra al isasa. Zain. You shouldn't wear what? Kli zayin. He teaches like Eliezer ben Yaakov. Tikun zain the giver of a man al isasa. And what does it mean? And a man should be mitaking himself with the kunisha. He's clearly passing like what? Like Eliezer ben Yaakov, right? He's clearly passing at the chumit kashita. Now, throughout Shas, we have a rule that Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov kav v'naki. It's usually in a Mishnah, not necessarily the Gemara. That he doesn't it doesn't appear often, but naki when he appears, the halacha is like him. So there seems to be a machlokes hapoiskim brought down by the Beis Yosef between the Smag and the Rambam, how to learn the machlokes between the two. So we're set up. We know we have machlokes. We know that Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov is more machmir, and the Chachamim are saying that the Isser is to go ahead and dress up and live among the vice versa. Let's see how. Now this is the Beis Yosef brings this out in Siman Kuf Pei Beis Ois Hey. Here's the machlokes between the Rambam and the Smag, the Sefer Mitzvahs Gedolos, the Smag. The Tanakama only asks b'derech niyuf. It would only ask something that's immoral. The Hainu, that he goes ahead. He's wearing things that are miyuchid for women going at sif, a mask, right, a curtain. In other words, he hides himself, which is the way we learned, right? Clearly, the only reason it's asa because he wants to come to Tayeva. And the Gemara says, according to Tanakama, someone therefore who would go ahead and cut off his body's hair would not be over the Issa. Because even though women do that, but that's nothing to do with what? With Niyuf, right? It's nothing to do with Niyuf. The Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov said, no. Even if it's not going to lead to Niyuf, he's more machmir. Anything that, like a woman, would be asar. Kigoin, cutting off what? Your body hair, right? And even though you don't see it, you cut off your body hair, b'seiser. So the Gemara, when it brought this brisa, is to say that this din of robbing of machloikis, this din of cutting off your hair be'emes is a machloikis anoyim. So the Smag learns that Gemara. Guys, look at me. The Smag learns it beautifully in a partial level. We just brought in, can you cut off your hair? Can you cut off your hair? Well, it could be with a scissor, you could be yes. According to Rebbe, you can't. Now the Gemara introduces the machloikis between the Tanakama and Rebbe Eliezer ben Yaakov to tell me be'emes is machloikis. Like the Tanakama, you could, because the only thing that's asur is derech niyot. And since the cutting off your hair it's hidden, it's not something like wearing clothing to hide yourself. Yeah, that's not derech niyot if you could cut off your hair. Whereas Rebbe Eliezer ben Yaakov says no, any tikkune isha, anything that is something that a woman is metaking herself with, who adorns herself with and beautifies herself with, would be asur. So therefore, like Rebbe Eliezer ben Yaakov, you could not go ahead and have a body shave. You couldn't go ahead and shave parts of your body. That would be a very nice pshat. Now, there's the Rambam. Okay, let's see this. She does the Rambam. Says the Rambam, even Rebbe Eliezer ben Yaakov says you won't be chayiv on cutting off the hair in the Beis HaShefik Beis Erva. It's the Kuna Isha, because he holds that since it's hidden, that's not a problem. He says since it's hidden, it's not a problem. It's not derech To'eva. The To'eva is when you look a certain way, but since you can't see when you cut off your body hair, it's not derech To'eva. And therefore, what's the machlokes according to the Rambam? Right? If he does something on the open, like the Tanakama, he's not going to get malchus, and he has to look completely like a woman. He has to dress up completely like a woman. And according to Rabbi Yaakov, he would even partially, even a little bit like a woman, right? It would be. And the Rambam passes like Rabbi Yaakov, and therefore the Rambam says that if a person goes ahead and plucks out his white hairs, right, you get malchus. If you pluck out your white hairs, which is something that's open, like the Rambam, you would be able to cut off your hair. There's machlokes there. Why? Because it's hidden. The only Rambam says the only thing Rebbe Eliezer ben Yaakov is being machadesh that it has to be out in the open, right? It has to be like, I guess like the sword is out in the open, right? The sword is out in the open, and therefore, if you do something like pulling out your white hairs, which is the Gemara in Makkas, a lot of this is in the Chaf in Makkas. We bring this sugya in, right? Therefore, that would be. So we have a machlokes in the Smag and the Rambam. What's the halacha about cutting off the hair? Like the Rambam, no one would hold that cutting off the hair is asa. Even Rebbe Eliezer Yaakov would hold it's asa. Again, midrabanan for sure. I'm doing the dvaisic level. Again, people. So those are the two ways to learn pshat in this Gemara. Those are the 2 ways to learn pshat in this Gemara. Okay, you guys are good. Okay, a little extra credit. I'm avoiding. I'm really doing this to avoid the Yom base. No. When we get there, you'll see. How are you feeling, Dr. Press? Okay. Yeah. Okay, it happens. So you lose your first baseman. Okay, anyway. Join the crowd. That's because you left at that Met thing the other day. That's God's paying you back. Anyway, let's go. Says the Gemara. Amar of Nachman, the Nazir muta. By Nazir, since the Nazir is able to shave his head, he could shave his whole body as well. However, Allah is not like that. They're saying that if he would, since he shaves his head, if he would shave his body, it would be okay. In other words, once he gets a waiver on the, that's the Havamina, and then Allah is not like that. Shimon bar Abba. Fascinating Gemara. The less lay, I saw Rabbi Yochanan does not have any hair in his armpits. So, and Rabbi Yochanan, guys, what did Rabbi Yochanan say above? You get malchus. Guys, Rabbi Yochanan above said you get malchus, right? So what's going on over here? So, Amalahoin machmas ziknoi nashroi. You know what happened? Now, this is very geschmack, guys. Like Rabbi Yochanan, the easy way you could say he cut it off with a scissor. But as we saw earlier, Rabbi Yochanan, guys, says machmir even with a scissor. It's very geschmack, right? So for the Gemara, how in the world did he lose his hair pits, his armpits? How did he lose that? Right? How did he do it? He's from India, right? It says anyway. So no, it says ziknai. So he got old nashru. Ahudis chayiv negida kameder vami. There was a person who's chayiv negida is malchus. Now, guys, this is malchus aboyim. This is malchus midas. Rav Ami lived in Bavel. By the time of Bavel, they weren't dishing out malchus deraisa. Good. So igloim beis shechi, as he was preparing to give him malchus, or maybe he did give him malchus, his beis hashechi became revealed, and chazei deloy megaleach, and he saw that he had armpit hair, and so he didn't shave. So Amar Lahoin Rebbe Ami Shivku, leave him alone. Deimin Chavehu. This guy's a chava. This guy's a chava. Now, first of all, that means that the other people didn't have armpit here.
Right.
First of all, it means that people did not have armpit here, correct? Okay. So both the Mefarish and the Rush say they didn't know. So this guy, the Yada, he knew that you know, yeah, this is very vague, right? Maybe hold like Rav, maybe cut it with a scissor, right? It's a very vague thing, not so well known. Even Bisman it's not so well known, right? Some Bisman it's not so well known. So they didn't know. This guy knew he must be a Chavi. Now, the next question is, how do you get him just because he's a Chavi, you let him off the hook? What's going on over here? So I have written over here, Ayin Hagos Yavitz, the Iri be Makas Mardis, obviously it's Makas Mardis, She'en Lo Kitzvah, there's no set amount. So in other words, it goes according to what you evaluate. So it could be he gave him one or two and he said, okay, Shine, it's Ganuk, right? You know, you didn't have to carry out the full sentence. So therefore, he was a Chaver. I was thinking, they used to give Makas, they would put a guy's hands up to the post. So then he would see his armpits, right? He would see his armpits. That would explain things, why he saw. Okay. Boy mine Rav. He
can't see it afterward.
Well, I'm saying, but he did
Something else.
right. Boy mine Rav me Reb Chia. Mahu legaleach. Right? So he asked him, Mahu legaleach. Can I cut my body here? So Amalei Aser. So Rav Chia told him it's Aser. So Amalei v'hakagadol, it grows, and it's heavy, it's a pain. Amalei bar pachte, said Rav Chia to Rav, son of great people, Zman yeshloi, kol zman shu gidol noisha. Zman yeshloi, is there a zman for what? For body here? Guys, I just said about you, I don't cut my body hair in it. It's limited. The hair on your head grows nonstop, but the hair on your body, there's a certain amount of time when it falls a certain place, and then it falls. It falls off, right? It falls off. So therefore, Rav Chia was telling him, don't worry about it. It grows, but it's going to fall off. When it gets too big, it won't be painful. Okay. Let's see. Let's see over here. Okay, let's finish the Gemara and then we'll go back to this Taisvis. Can you go ahead and rub your to rub to get the hair off? Amalei asa. The big day, what about can you take a bag and rub it? Amalei mutter. The big day, when you're davening by tefillah, can you rub your hair? Amalei asa. The halacha is not like that. Okay, now what do I mean over here? I found this Taisvis fascinating, guys. Gevul yeshlei. The second Taisvis is the bottom. She'ena gadol, it doesn't. Ain't a giddle, it doesn't grow. It doesn't grow. Kiseya haroish, like the head of the hair. V'leket tzara, and therefore there's no tzara, so you can't cut it. Mashma kishein adam miskaven lenoi. Mashma when a person is not miskaven. In other words, when is it asa? If you miskaven for noi, but let's say you miskaven to remove tsar, so it's not a problem. In other words, if you cut here to remove tsar, it will be okay. Yes, because what do you tell him? Don't worry about it. It grows, it's going to fall off. Your haircut, I know, your hair, you got to cut once in a while. Even the Nazar Olam, once a year, cut his hair because it gets heavy, right? Sometimes twice a year. They cut the hair because it gets heavy. Yeah. On the other hand, your body hair will never get heavy enough to make it uncomfortable to the extent that you're going to have to and cut it. So don't worry about it. So, mashma kashen adam miskaven lenoi, elli notzel, to be safe from pain. The less bay mishum kligevet. There's no problem about being like a woman. Bim kain hamistakel bimara. Someone who looks in a mirror, kadesh leyachbol va'atzmai. Let's say, guys, you're cutting your hair, and you're cutting your hair. You don't want to kill yourself. You don't want to damage yourself. You would be permitted to look in the mirror. Because you're not looking in the mirror to go see how beautiful you are. You're looking in the mirror to save you from self and tsar. So we can ascertain from Rav Chia's answer to Rav, we can extrapolate a din of mirror. Just like if it was causing you bodily pain, you would be able to take the hair off. Who are din looking in a mirror, which is also asa, guys. You hit clear some places. It's asa looking in a mirror. It's asa. When would it be mutter? It would be mutter to stop yourself from damaging yourself.
saying, why is it leishilbash? You're not doing anything.
Excuse me?
You're not physically doing anything. You're not putting anything on you. So what's the
Like
issue
what?
of looking in a mirror? Or looking in a
Women,
mirror?
because women look in a mirror.
Right, but you're not putting anything on you.
Women look in a mirror. That's tikuni isha again. Again, it's tikuni isha looking in a mirror. Well, we'll see the halacha in a second, but that the issur is that women look in a mirror and men don't look in a mirror. It's a purpose no. It's something again. It's an act. It doesn't have to act. That you're saying the act has to be a manifestation of something physical, and we're expanding your understanding of it. You see from here clearly that even acting like women act, right? Do things that women do, even if it doesn't manifest itself in something that you physically can see, would also be awesome. Again, you're not getting malchus for this. You're not. These are again. I don't know the extent that we pass like Rabbi and Yaakov. According to the Rambam, certainly you would not get malchus for this. We pass like the Rambam. If you pass it like the Smag, you might have a problem. Now, anyway. That's the Rabbeinu Peretz. Sharabai Harav of Shmuel Me'urya Hayim Mistapiv Mari. He will use the mirror. So I looked up the halachas a little bit. I put down over here. Let's see the halacha. I'm going to share it with you. It's on your phone if you're interested. I sent it out this morning, bright and early. This is in Kuf Nun Vav. This is in Hilchas Avodas Kechavim. Hilchas Avodas Kechavim. Asa leish listakel b'mara. It's asa for a person to mistakel, to look in a mirror. Mishum la yilbish gever. Elim kain mishum refuah. If it's the purpose of refuah, you're looking in the mirror. Kigoyin shechoshis be'einav. He's got a pain in his eye. You got to get the drops in the faint pictures. Or to go ahead and take a haircut, which is we just saw now, right? Now you got to be careful with a guy. This halacha, you don't want to raise the cut around your neck, right? Right. So you would be able to go ahead and use the mirror, or else to compare as an important person, muta liras b'mara. It would permit it. So there, it's asa b'derech klal, and there's certain times it's muta. That's the mechaber. Says the Ramah, V'yeshayimrim, Hada asa liris b'mara, hainu dafka b'makoim, the ein derech liris b'mara, rak noshin. The place it will be asar is only when only women use mirrors. The isbei mishum lo yilbash gever. Since in that place only women do it, by you going ahead and doing it, you're acting like a woman. Avol b'makom shederech hanoshim liris gam came b'mara, which is what people like we go ahead, then muta. Then it will be muta according to the Ran in Avodah Zarah. So this is the heta. If you ever wonder why you can look in a mirror. Now there's a difference between looking in a mirror and for a second to make sure that you don't have that you're in beseder, or sitting there and primping, and that's not good. The stakel means go stakel. You could look in a mirror. I told you very often that we saw the Gemara early in the Masechta. This Nazir who's beautiful didn't know what he looked like. He didn't know what he looked like. He only saw his reflection in the water. I told you, Rabbi Yosef Chaim Zonefeld, someone once showed him a picture of himself and said, he didn't know what he looked like. He didn't look like. The people didn't look in mirrors. They didn't look in mirrors. Avram Avinu, like he only saw Sarah's image when he went across the water. It's like, you see that mirror was something he wasn't accustomed to looking at. So again, it's very interesting. So there's a beautiful pshat. Rabbi Kivega brings a beautiful pshat. How to explain the previous Gemara. This person, Rav Ami was giving malchus to, correct? Yeah, and he saw he had body hair. He had armpit hair. He said, it's a chava. It bothered me very much. Like, come on, everyone's cutting the body hair except him. Says Rabbi Kivega, beautiful. What do you see from this Ran? If the minig hamakom is to do something, it's not asa. So just like the minig hamakom by a mirror, if men would look in mirror, it's not still bash gever. So who adin in that place they cut off the armpit hair, except like the Ran said, like the Rama said that a chav is machmir. The chaver is machmir. The mela, that's how you knew he was a chaver. Because even though it was a place that cut off armpits, Beis HaShechi, he didn't. So he showed himself to be a chaver. In other words, he was machmir. In other words, he knew that halacha made him a chaver. No, a chaver is a chashva position, guys. What made him a chaver? He said, even though the minig is over here, by not doing it, that went ahead and showed outright that he's a chaver. Reb Kiva Eiga in Kuf Pei Beis. In Kuf Pei Beis is the last sim in Chelik Gimel. Okay, very geschmack, very geschmack. New York City is what? It's an armpit, yeah. Okay, that's the fun part of share. Now, okay, anyway, take two. Okay. We had a Mishnah. What was the Mishnah discussing? Mishnah discussing, you had two people. Someone said money used Tameh. Someone said money used Tameh. How does he know? Through the in between the Tumah, so it was Safek Tumah versus Hayachid. We went through the Sugi a bit. Okay, now, what happens if one of these guys die? Let's make it more fun. So two Nazirim, they were both Tahar. Now one of them's Tameh, you don't know which one. One of them dies now, right? What do you do? The whole Torah there was what? Being Yibashutvis, correct? So what do you do? So that our Mishnah now is going to figure out exactly what you do. Hang in there, okay? Follow along the bouncing ball. Shragi, listen up. You're gonna help me out here. Meis echa mehem. One of them dies. So now you got a problem. What does he do? So Rabbi Yeshua, Yivakesh echad min ashuk, sheyidor kinegdoi b'nazir. Go say, hey, listen, do me a favor, right? Do me a favor, do me a flavor. Go ahead to become a nazir. Listen, but not just only become a nazir. You got to play along with me with the following rule. Im tamei hayisi. If I was tamei, good. I'm the tamei dika guy. Hayat nazir miyad, and now you're a nazir right now. Good. The im tahar hayisi, and if I was tahar, and if I was the tahar guy, hayat nazir achash shleishim yom. Then your naziris won't be chal until 30 days. So if I'm the tamei, your naziris is now. If I'm the tahar, your naziris is chal after 30 days. Good. That's step number one. What do? Soifim shleishim. They go ahead and they count 30 days. Now, two possibilities. If the guy was tahar, the other guy was what? If he was, this guy was tahar, right?
Number two goes.
Yeah, number two is always tahar. So if number one was tahar, then what? So he brings two karbanis. Mevin carbon toma, the carbon taira. The oimer the following. Imanihu hatamei. If I the tamei, and therefore you're a nazir miyad. Carbon toma shali. The carbon toma that I'm bringing is mine. The carbon taira shalcha, and that carbon taira is yours because after all you. Now, guys, you have to say it's speaking that it was a woman again, or else you have the problem of taking a haircut, right? When you maybe might be a nazir tar, might be taking a haircut after it's over. Okay, with the next problem. However, anihu at-tahar, I'm the tar now. Carbon tar is shali. The carbon tumah that we don't need is besafik. Why? Because if I'm tar, you're not a nazir yet. If I'm tar, you're only a nazir after 30 days. So therefore, the carbon tar is for me, and the carbon tumah that I'm bringing along is besafik. So guys, what are you going to bring? You're going to bring a chata soif. Here, guys, listen. This is very, very important. When the nazir is tamei, he brings three karbanis. He brings two birds. One is the chatas, one is an oila, and he brings a nasham. Here he's bringing, at least according to the farshim I saw, he's only bringing a chatas. It can bring an oila, but it doesn't make a difference because he always make that into an adava. The asham is not ma'akiv. What's the pecking order, guys? Remember, chatas oila asham. He can go ahead and once he sprinkles the chatas oif, he's good. But he could start his counting. Good. So now, since a chatas oif can be brought besafik, that was the tremendous cool. If you remember, Yoledes, Yeshua, she gave birth to something, or she Yoledes, not a Yoledes, so she had no choice. She has to be clutched in Korban Pesach in Yani Diyuma. So therefore, you can bring the chatas oif, and the kohen can't eat it, but you can bring it. So there's a special waiver by the chatas oif. So he brings a chatas oif, he brings a regular animal, and he says the following: if I'm tahar, then I don't need this carbon, and you're not a nazir yet. So the carbon tire is for me, and the chatas is brought al safek, which you can do. You guys with me so far? Everything's great. Good. Now, next, the seifrim shloishim yoim. Then you count what? Another 30 days. Umevian carbon tyra. You bring again one carbon tyra, guys. One carbon tyra. You bring one. You say the following now. They're both nazirim now. In other words, the new guys is either was a nazir or certainly now a nazir. Correct? Meman of shach. It says fine. Imani hatame. If I'm tame, I was the tamei guy. Carbon tumah that was brought already, shali. The carbon tumah that was brought after the 30 days is mine. The carbon tyre shalcha, and the carbon tyre that I'm bringing now is yours. Because after all, you were mekabel naziris after 30 days. And this is going to be for you. Vizeh carbon tarasi. And now the tyre, meaning the one that was brought is for you. After 30 days, guys. After 30 days, if I was tamei, then you began your naziris when at point 0. 30 days later, you are a nazir. Good. So, therefore, that first set of karbanos now, he's saying that after day 60, he's saying the following: if I was tamei, then the carbon that I brought on day 30 is my tama, and the tyra carbon I brought on day 30 is yours because you were a nazir miyad. Good. Now, what about if I was tahar? Then you weren't a nazir until when? Until day 30 to 60. So now here's what he's saying. Right. Imani atame carbon tuma shali, the carbon that was brought on after 30 days was mine. The carbon taracha shalcha, because after 30 days you were a nazir, yes, because you began your naziris miyad. Vizer carbon tarasi, and the one that I'm bringing now is mine. V'imani hu atahar. And if I was the tahar, and guys, so if I was the tahar, when are you beginning your naziris? Now, you're ending it now. V'imani hu atahar carbon tyre shali, right? The carbon tumah b'safik. And if I am the tahar, right, and therefore, and the one that was brought, right, for the tyre, right, the one that was brought for the tyre, then and that is, and we don't need it. The amini atar carbon tyre shali. The carbon tyre is mine. The carbon tumah b'safik. The zeu carbon tyre rascha, and this carbon now is your tar. The 60 days. And this is yours. Amalei ben Zoyma. In other words, you're going to get a guy to do this. Practicality. Huh? In other words, it's mashma from the Tanakama. This is the only way out, right? Says Ben Zoma. Obviously, Ben Zoma must have a better way, or else he wouldn't have told him, 1 second. Well, it says the Gemara. So, Amalei Ben Zoma. Umisha me'ele she'yidu k'neged ben Nazir. Eluazidu. Not another person, guys. Not another person. Mano a mano, just himself. Ela maybe chata sa'oif. A chata sa'oif is brought when you are tamei. V'oilas behema, and he brings an oilas behema which you could bring when you are tahar. V'oimer. Im tamei, you see, if I was the tamei guy and the guy who died was the tahar guy, hachatas mechayvasi, then the chatas is my chiyuv to bring now. V'oila nedava. And the oil I'm bringing is an adava because I can't bring another adava now. The im Torah, you see, and I was the Torah and the guy who died's tamei, then the oil is mechayvasi to get me out of my naziris. The chatas misafik. The seifer shleishim yoim. Now he counts 30 days. Umevi carbon tahira. He then brings what? A carbon of tahira. Voimer. Im tamei, you see, if I was tamei, the oil harishon in adava, then the oil harishon was in adava. The zuchayva. And this that I'm bringing now is my chiyuv, but to get me free. Then Torah, you see, I was Torah. Holy Yishayna Chayva v'zu nedava, v'zu shar kabani. And now he brings what? He brings the other kabanis. In other words, he brought the oila. Now he'll bring the chatas, and he'll bring the shlamim, and he brings the other ones. In other words, he's breaking it up into two stints. He's being a yaitza. Again, he's being. If I was tar after day 30. If I was Torah after day 30, so I don't need a carb. So therefore, the one that I brought, the oila I brought was my oila, What I'm chayiv now? I'm chayiv to bring a chatas and a shlamim, and now he brings it a chatas and a shlamim. So he's dividing it up. Again, one more time. Let's see it inside. One more time. So it's a little confusing. Says Ben Zayma the following. I have an eitzah how to get out of this. Says Ben Zayma. Let's go with Ben Zayma again. Maybe chatas oif oilis behema. He's going to bring a chatas oif, which is for tumah, and oilis behema. Now, oilis behema we can play with, guys. An oilis behema could be one of two things. It could be in a dava, or it could be as oilif is chiyav. Guys, if it's tahar, it can be both. V'oimer im tameh you see hachatas mechayvasi. The chatas is the bird is my chayiv that I have to bring because I'm tameh. V'oil in nedava, and the oil is my nedava. Now, v'im tahar you see, and if I'm tahar, then ha'oila mechayvasi. The oila is my chiyav to get me off. The chatas misafik. Now, so before he counts 30 days, if you're saying tar, guys, here's important, right? Guys, look at me. If you're going to say he's tar now, he brought one of his kavanas now. He brought the oila, and he's just going to have to be mashlim the chatas and the shlamim later on. So he's bringing in two different steps. Yeah, that's what's happening now. Continues the Gemara. The Sefer Shleishim Yoim will maybe carbon tyra. V'oimer. He only brings a carbon tyra. So Meman of Shach. It's either he was tamei and he needs it, or it's extraneous. And what does he say? Im tamei, you see, ha'il rishonim nedava v'zu chayva. However, im tara, you see, ha'il rishonim chayva v'zu nedava. And guess what? And now I'm bringing along with this with Shar Kabani. I'm going to bring along with this. I'm going to bring along Shar Kabani. I'm going to bring my chatas, my sheep chatas, and I'm going to bring my aisle for my shlamim, and I'm going to cook with the gravy and Israel b'sheila and wave it. You're good, guys. You got it. One person, yeah, one person. We just took Ben Zayma just came up with a way to take care of this without coming to another person. Amar of Yeshua. Nimsa said maybe karbanos of the chatzayin. So he's bringing the karbanos naziris 2 different times. If he's tahar, meaning he's bringing the oil earlier, and after 30 days he's bringing the chatas and the shlamim. Now, so what it does. So what? So he did. So he did do it. So Nimsa zu maybe karbanos of the chatzayin. The bottom line, the chachamim what they agree with Ben Zayma. They agree with Ben Zayma. Okay. Fred the Gemara of Elaisi. On Rabbi Shua, guys. So bring it lechatzayim. Who state that you can't? Who said you can't bring it? You can't bring the oila, and then you're going to bring the chatas, and then you're going to bring the shlamim. So Amashmuel layom Rabbi Shua el chadi b'esatim einachinami. Rabbi Shua only said lechad tamidim. Okay, so now guys watch. Mashma Rabbi Shua was good with what? With 2 people bringing what? The kavanas. Yeah, that was good by him. No, it's good. That was good. Let's go through the protocol. On the day 60, how many people are taking haircuts? 2. Good. When are you going to go ahead and waive the kerev, karai, and the stuff? After 2. If you delay so much, the chance is they may get spoiled. Fred the Gemara. Amr of Nachman. My la'av elei Rabbi Yeshua, the dakya to the intestines, the loy lisru, that they shouldn't get spoiled. Bishlema, if you're only one person, right? You're good to go. But if you're 2 people, the previous Mishnah to Mason, that you had no choice, right? But in other words, now they have a choice of Ben Zayma 1 and 2. L'chayri should go with the 1. Okay. Anyway, what? No. It's not nicer. It's the day of you cook the carbon, then you pick up the Zohar b'sheila and everything, and you're delaying it after Giluach, so it would delay things. So in other words, you think you have a kasha, not so sure, you got another problem.